Hello and welcome back to Boring Dead Gaming, where today we're going to carry on with Citizen Sleeper 2. Not sure how far we are from the end now. It feels like we're getting towards it, but there's still, if we have a look at our list of drives up here, there's still a fair bit of things to do. Travel to Oliveira, investigate the Hexport thing. That's probably what we're going to do with Cadet now, I guess. Finish the reboot we've got to do, clear out Utsubo, blah blah blah. Quite a bit left to do. So let's talk to Cadet here. How are you doing? Cadet finds you in a dark-side thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering? Hey, I get it. Cadet smiles. But look where we are. She gestures around at the broad street with its layers of tech and dirt. Heart the belt. You really look at the glass-roofed street. Its walls are built from scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim hab units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare without sense or reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, connected by the vast solar cells that form the city's foundations. Heart or heat? I guess heart. Heart is the right word. This place is a centre of circulation, toned muscle tough, and running to a beat. You turn to Cadet and can see it in her eyes. She loves being here. I've been thinking, she glances away, of how good it would feel to run my air bike down this street. She smiles. This city is to need couriers, right? That's a good idea. I know. She flexes her shoulders back. But there's some unfinished business weighing me down. She meets your eye. Hexport. You think of the drive tucked away in the scatteryards, the one that contains the data stream from a drone mined vivisection, the one that might have caused the loss of an entire station. We need to go finish what we started. Cadet looks deadly serious. Find who's responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is Hexport still irradiated? I think so. She sighs, but it'll be fading. We can get in and safely out safely from what I know. And we'd better try soon, because the safer it gets, the more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left to tell the story. No lot just went down. Cadet puts a hand on her hip. But his clans could still be operating. Hell, they could be trying the same thing again on this station. We need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. Maybe, once it's all done. She turns away. I'll let you take the first airbike ride through this place. She raises a hand and then is gone. New contract on map. Interesting. Okay, so we're kind of free to do our own thing now, but we obviously have the contract out here to Hexport, which we're going to do pretty soon. But there's quite a lot. Oh, look, I can rotate this space. That's the first one I've been able to do that with. But we got the Dark Side Exchange. What do we do here? This is fuel and supplies. The supplies aren't really so much of a problem. We might as well top up the fuel. We've got loads of cash. To be honest, let's just do the supplies as well, because we have so much money. It is ridiculous. Utsubo safe. Oh, now this is, we have to clear this. I mean, literally clear it. Utsubo collapsed while you were recovering, but its members and enforcers are still on dark side, so we can shift boxes. And Keita and those working with her have gathered and packed a lot of the Utsubo materials, but they need moving out. And search safe house. The safe house stretches deep into the block and beyond. Utsubo had many secrets, and this is the time to reveal them. So this is a minor drive, but I think I'm right in saying I've got 2 upgrade points currently. So if we do that, we'll be able to sort of get our final skill fully upgraded before we head out to the contract, I think. Reboot prep. Bliss is preparing the software to finish your reboot, a necessary procedure. So this is just how many cycles we've got until that's going to happen. It's, 6 cycles away. We got Kenta's Corner, which is buy a meal, but we're okay for energy right now. The scrapper market. We can buy scrap components, process raw scrap. I've got quite a bit of that, actually. Scrap shift, probably for make money, but right now I don't think that's really a major concern for us. Habpet facility. Junior's gone straight to the Habpet core and is asked not to be disturbed. What is she doing down there? Interesting. So we got a couple of cycles until Junie's finished having a look down there. So I think we start off in this Servo safe house. So I can use all my dice here in this danger one and guarantee positive results. So let's do that. Don't know if that's going to be enough to finish the clock. I don't think so. But I think we get almost there. go. Might as well go rest. You know what? Let's give a supply to the cat. I can't remember when the last time we fed them was. And sleepy time. So we just need one. So I'll put in the 4, because that's guaranteed. Positive. There we go. You watch as the last stack of crates is guided up and out of the cavernous Utsubo safehouse. You doubt it'll be long before this space is filled. Darkside will not tolerate a vacuum for long. This city takes every opportunity. Its inhabitants build in every crack and crevice. As Utsubo's spaces are cleared, they'll be occupied. The gang's legacy will be buried under factories, kitchens, markets, and housing. But the people will remember the cold and desperate grip they once held on this place, even if the city does not. Oren. Oh, what was Oren's voice? Come to gloat. The voice takes you by surprise, and you turn to see Oren floating in the shadows, arms folded. He drifts forward into the pool of yellow light. You threw a tyrant. You should be pleased with yourself. His tone is flat, and you're unsure how to read his statement. I am. Oren eyes you carefully. From what I heard, you burnt those pale eyes out of his skull. He smiles a thin smile. I imagine it was quite the sight. You don't recall the moment of Lane's death. In fact, the abstract nature of that moment, almost dreamlike, means you had almost forgotten. You tense a little as his scream comes back to you, a screech of white noise bathed in white light. Oren is still watching you. He almost would have respected you for actually doing it. Oren inspects his knuckles. If he could have respected a creature like you. Don't react. Oren watches you for a response, but looks away when it's clear that you aren't going to be provoked. I came here to clear out the old disease just like you. Oren gestures to the space. Utsubo had to go, and I came here to be part of that process. You can't burn everyone you don't like out of this place, I'm afraid. Oren folds his arms. This is our home, whether you like it or not. I didn't like Lane. It's hard to imagine anyone did. He saw Darkside for the opportunity it was, and woke Utsubo from its slumber. He turned a gang into administration and a city into a machine. He was too erratic for my taste, perhaps, but he held this place, shaped it into something. I see that you have no intention of doing the same. So, what will happen now? Oren meets your eye. You have created a space that must be filled. Will you take responsibility for that at least? The people will decide. Oh, will they? Oren chuckles. I can see that you don't know the first thing about Darkside and his people. The people decided on Utsubo. You changed that. Now you want them to pick something else? They're opportunists, all of them. They'll choose for their own benefit only. In the end, I should thank you. This city was done with, Lane. Oren gives you a nod. And I'll be honest enough to admit that you did what I couldn't. But never forget that you're an outsider here, and Darkside hates outsiders. Before you can respond, Oren kicks off and glides up towards the upper levels of the safe house, leaving you alone in the empty space. Though you do not put weight to his words, they still sting. Perhaps, you think, there is something to them. Who are you to decide the future of a city when your own future is falling apart each cycle? Is your decline a spiral that can trap others in its wake, or a necessary transition? The crisis before a new shape emerges. You hug your arms close to your side, suddenly cold in the stripped-bare safe house, and ascend once more. Oh, it's just... I forgot it's just 1 point for a minor thingy-bob. Okay, so what else do we got on our list then? Finish the reboot as major, investigate Hexport major, revisit Oliveira is minor. We could travel to Oliveira then. Has received a message, asked you to go help with the colony's refurbishment. Well, we could, yeah, we could go do that. I know Junie's about to finish her thing, but I'm sure when we come back, that'll still be something we can pick up. Yeah, no issues getting here. This isn't it, is it? But let's fill up with fuel, because, that's fine. I mean, I could use dice here. It's just, because I've got 700 credits, it just seems unnecessary, so we'll just move on. Oliveira. Not sure who this is. Stop! A shadowed figure meets you in the docking tunnel. No saboteurs allowed. I imagine it's the kid, right? Oh, it's Seraph. Oh, it's... Hey, kid. Seraphine glides forward and ruffles the figure's hair. Still playing sheriff? Nah, just bored. Xander grins. What are you two doing here? He glides alongside you and Seraphine as you drift through the tunnel. None of your business. Seraphine pushes past. No offense, kid, but you aren't actually the sheriff around here. You pass through the familiar doors and back into Oliveira. A surprisingly pleasant feeling. Oddly, like coming home. You came! Cadence is there in the docking concourse waiting to greet you. I'm impressed. Seraphine's face immediately erupts into an uncontainable smile. Cadence! He turns to you. You two remember each other, right? Sleeper saved the colony. Cadence's deadpan answer seems intended to cover for Seraphine's awkwardness. Yeah, I remember them. The four of you descend through the docking tower and into Oliveira itself. The colony looks much the same as when you left, though you pick up from Cadence that changes are coming. Carmen's back with a vengeance since Darkside. Cadence smiles. He's all about expanding and improving the colony, which is why I asked you to come, Sarah. The nickname slips out, but both Cadence and Seraphine clock it and glance at you. As you reach the core of the colony, you see the increased activity. There are more colonists than you remember, and they move back and forth with purpose, carrying crates and tools, the chatter less than usual. We need all the help we can get to sort the place out. Cadence notices you watching the stream of freight and people. Carmen wants to do some kind of event, an anniversary, I think. Honor the founders and all that. Gonna be a big party! Xander grins. Can't wait! So, Cadence looks up between you and Seraphine. What do you think? Up for some colony-mandated manual labour? She grins. Seraphine gives you a sideway glance, observing your response carefully. How could you say no? And I guess we can't. You feel it the moment you wake, a flicker at the edge of your perception, a sensation beyond your body. A blinking, a tugging, and then numbness as something shuts off within you. Oh dear. The panic is instant, the feeling of something not being right within you spiking your fear. But no pain comes. You feel no further shifts, and as time stretches out, you settle again. You calm yourself. You know immediately that this is what Bliss was referring to, your frame's decline, the one the reboot should reverse. You flex a little, feel your body, try to ground yourself in it. It will not collapse this cycle, but something has changed. This is how it will be until the reboot. You hope you have long enough to finish what you must. You begin the cycle slowly, holding the pieces of yourself together. You try not to let your thoughts wander to darker things and fix your eyes on the tasks ahead. The belt drifts past the window, following a flow of its own, expanding, collapsing, shifting its own way. People say it is drifting away, getting further from Helion's star, that one day it will drift out of the system altogether into interstellar space. You find a strange solace in that. Somehow, knowing that entropy is the way of the universe makes your own decline more palatable, at least for a little longer. So what? Okay, we've gained a permanent glitch because of that. So things are going to get trickier. What is kind of the thing that we're here to do? Help the colony. So I guess we just put dice into these things, right? Oliveira's independence. Wow, there's a big old clock down here. Okay. I mean, the farm stacks will give us an energy, so... Oh, mind you, I'm useless at that. Fair enough. Yeah, let's get a positive result on the refinery shift. I didn't get fuel. I thought maybe I'd get fuel there, but fine. Is this just eaten? Yeah, that's just eaten. Okay, well, let's get a couple more positive bits of clock here. Oh, we gained energy there. Okay, that's cool. I'll put my 2 in, I guess. It is a 4 now. Because it's risky, I think a neutral shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that's good. I'm not going to do the 1, though. That seems a bit dumb. Guess we rest. I mean, we're on a bit of a clock. I wonder how often I get one of those glitch things. I feel like the reboot is like maybe the end of the game. Like, I think maybe that's the final thing you do, so I'm a little bit wary of rushing off to do that. Let's try the glitch dice. Yeah, it's fine. We still added to the clock. We lost 1 energy, but that's like meh. That's fine. Not bothered. We should gain it back with a positive result. Yeah. So is this? I forget. Is that like definitely one dice that's going to glitch, or is it like a chance of 1 dice glitching? I can't remember how it works. I think we'll put all our dice in, well, anything but a 1, I think. Although I think, actually, a 1 in here becomes a 3, and a 3 is as good as a 4, really, for the purposes of that roll. We'll end the cycle. We'll keep an eye on that. It feels like maybe there's a definite chance of getting a glitch. Maybe it's not, and we're just being unlucky. It's hard to know. We'll put it in first, because even if we lose energy, we'll... Oh, we got a positive one. Cool. Three segments left. I'm going to put the crap dice in. See if that gets us there. That's a shame. Oh well, let's put the 6 in. I think we get that energy back. Yep. The past cycles in Oliveira have been busy enough to take your mind off most things. All the heavy lifting and manual work has been a welcome distraction from the looming spectre of the second reboot, and the good mood of the others has been infectious. Seraphim has been almost annoyingly upbeat, his relationship with Cadence the worst kept secret in the colony. But working alongside them, it's hard to ignore their deep feelings for each other. Xander has been happy because he has something new to rib Cadence about, and Seraphim, with his self-serious manner, is an easy target for pranks and teasing. Xander also hasn't been able to stop talking about the party, which he already seems to have decided will be one of the highlights of his youth. But now, finally, the cycle of the party has arrived. The canteen is done up with hanging light strips, waving gently in the asteroid's microgravity. The strips themselves, salvaged from the emergency lighting of wrecked starships. With the work stopped and all the colonists yet to arrive, you find the reboot filling your mind once again, growing like a shadow. Something on your mind there? The voice takes you by surprise. Oh, I thought it was going to be Carmen. Whoever this dude is he someone we know? Was he from the free DLC episodes of the First Citizen Sleeper? Can't remember. You turn to see a colonist you haven't met before, an older man in some sort of supportive chair, his hair shot through with grey and his face sallow. Didn't mean to startle you, my apologies. His pale eyes scan you. It just seemed like you might need some company. There is a strange look in his eyes that you can't quite place. He's looking at you like you've met many times before, but you've never seen him before in your life. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? He gestures to the canteen with its hanging lights, his chair propelling him forward with little puffs of air. The young people did such a good job. Warms my heart to see it like this. Never thought this rock could ever be a home. He looks sideways at you. Have we met? Us? He shakes his head. No. Sorry if I'm being a bit too familiar. He coughs a few shallow coughs. Just you remind me of someone who did a lot for me. Yeah, it's got to be from the first game, and I'm afraid I don't remember. But I have a vague memory of, in the DLCs, one of the colony ships had a captain, I think, who was in a sort of space wheelchair. I think it's him, but I can't remember his name. But let's not chat about me. I want to know about you. He turns his chair a little. What's eating you? The way you were staring at those light strips, it was like they were about to leap down and strangle you. His chuckle becomes a cough. I'm afraid of the future. I can see that. I am myself most days. He sighs. After a certain point, you realise it isn't going to get better, so all you have to wait for is things getting worse. This body of mine is on a downward trajectory, that's for sure. But it's mine, and I've grown into it, and I guess, in the end, I like it because it's mine. And it'll carry me all the way to the end, and then go on and become something else entirely. Don't know why, but that thought always helps me. He coughs 3 times, hard like gunshots. The colonist squints at you. Sorry, I'm not good with reassuring people, I just remembered that. He smiles. But I do like chatting. He looks back at the light strips. Really lovely, isn't it? Just beautiful. You look back at the light strips now as the hum of people arriving filters into the canteen. There is something in the air. Anticipation, the sense of a rare moment passing through, something to hold on to and then let go. The light strips really are beautiful. When you turn back to the old colonist to agree with him, he's already gone. Hey, sleeper! Seraphim pushes through the now gathering crowd towards you. Got you a drink? He offers a pouch of some amber liquid. Hey! Cadence comes up alongside you and hugs you with one arm. I wondered where you were hiding. She smiles warmly at you with her infectious smile. You think about mentioning the old colonist to her, asking about him. But Seraphim hushes the two of you. Carmen's about to start. You follow Seraphim's eyes to the front of the canteen where, above the heads of the now quite large crowd of colonists, Carmen floats, surveying the room. We meet this cycle, Carmen begins, his voice loud but clipped, formal in a way you haven't heard before, to first remember those founders of this colony, those lost and still with us. I'll never forget the distress call that brought me here, to the wreck of the Pilgrim Seed. I'll never forget the scenes that greeted me, and I know some of you were there too. A rumble of acknowledgement moves through the crowd. But I also know that many of you weren't, that many of you came here to take refuge from other troubles, and I'd like you to be able to remember too. You glance at Cadence, her eyes fixed with incredible intensity on Carmen. They look wet in the glow of the light strips. There were thousands of refugees on the Pilgrim Seed, and too many, far too many were lost. Those from Ember's Step, Ember's Song, Ember's Hearth. Those from the Three Sisters, from Erlin's Eye. So these are the things from the story deal, free story DLC from the first game. I remember that. Many are not here in Oliveira any longer, taking their own paths across the belt and beyond. But we acknowledge them all, remember them all, lost and found, present and absence, because without them there would be no colony here. Before the wreck, Oliveira was a handful of buried bays, a scrapper hideout, a place for old and tired mercenaries like me to hide themselves from the universe and forget what they'd done. But when the Pilgrim Seed was wrecked, it brought the universe back to Oliveira, and I couldn't hide any longer. Carmen stares out across the crowd with a hard glare. We built this canteen from the Pilgrim Seed. We built our homes, our farms, our refinery. We built our independence from their failed hope. A rustle of discomfort goes through the crowd. Carmen pauses to let this settle. We should not be ashamed or afraid of this. We will remember this gift. We will build on it. This cycle and every other cycle after, we will thank them with our actions. The crowd mutters agreement. Carmen takes a deep breath and straightens up. A weight seems lifted from him, the weight of testimony. Now, here in this room with you, I will thank them with my laughter. A cheer goes up. Hooray! I will thank them with my joy, with my celebration. Another roar of approval. We will all thank them as loudly and as chaotically as we can. The room erupts into cheers and applause. Join him. You cheer and applaud too. You whoop, and Seraphim laughs nearby. Then you feel a pair of hands on your arm, Cadence pulling at you, grinning and crying. And you feel another hand on your other arm, Seraphim dragging you into the crowd. Suddenly you're in the thick of the crowd, so many bodies in one room, dancing and spinning and shouting. It is like nothing you've ever seen. You notice the rest of the crew in the melee, a flash of familiar face here and there among the mass of colonists. You see Xander being thrown up in the air by a group of different kids of different ages, laughing madly as he bounces off the ceiling. And for the rest of this cycle, you think about nothing else but the joy of those around you, and the joy it instills in you. Okay, I was going to say, is that the end of the game? But it's not. That's good. Bliss has been in touch, Sleeper. Seraphim turns and looks over his shoulder as soon as you enter the cockpit. He's sitting on the pilot's seat, running diagnostics on the console. They say they're ready for the reboot. Do they say anything else? You know, Bliss. Seraphim rolls his eyes a little. They worry. He turns fully in his seat. How are you feeling? Not bad. I know the reboot needs to happen. Seraphim speaks slowly and carefully. And I know the risks. I can see all that. But I also know what happened last time. He pauses. And I didn't want you to forget again, to lose all this. He gestures around the cockpit. Everything we've done. Neither do I. Seraphim nods silently, unsure what to add. I'm not trying to scare you. I just needed to say that, well, if the reboot didn't go how we want, I'll miss you. I'll miss all this. I will too. If you remember. Seraphin laughs shakily at his own joke, then turns back to his pilot console. Whenever you're ready, we can go to a flicker row to Bliss. Seraphin pokes at the console in front of him. If you have things you want to wrap up first, I understand. I would too. Here. Seraphin tosses an object across the cockpit and you catch it out of the air. Take that with you when you go to Bliss. It's good luck. You open your hand and see a familiar metal disc. A coin, its engraving rubbed away to little more than vague shapes and signs. Tala gave it to me. Now it's yours. You can't run from this forever, all right? He glances over his shoulder and smiles. We've done enough running anyway. He turns back to the console and returns to the diagnostics. You leave the cockpit and run a hand along the ribbed metal wall of the passage outside. Is it really possible that you could forget all this? All these layers of memory, of experience? Perhaps you can put it off a little longer. Take another tour around the belt, tie up loose ends. Or perhaps you've had enough of that. Why try to escape the inevitable? You try to recall how it felt when you awoke after Lane interrupted the first reboot. Even that is fading into a hazy memory told by an unreliable narrator. Maybe this is just the next step then. One of thousands that put you here, and the first of the thousands more that will take you onward. You come out of your thoughts still unsure, still aware that the decision of when to take that step ultimately rests with you. Okay, you wake up in your berth, the same light that always shines on the belt shining incessantly through the window. You are slow to rise, slow to begin this fresh cycle. At some point, Seraphin arrives back into the rig, with no indication of whether he slept or not. You find him in the cockpit, leaning in the pilot's chair, looking out at the lights of Oliveira and smiling. Good party. He chuckles. Near sure I've seen anything like it. How's Cadence? Seraphin gives you a look. She's great. She loved seeing you let it all go. He smiles. I did too. Seraphin yawns and stretches. So, he sniffs. Oliveira's all fixed up. Colonists are happy, blah blah blah. Where to now? Back to Darkside? If that's what you want. He grins. And that's what we'll do. Seraphin pauses a moment, something passing over him that makes him shiver. I heard from Tala. He looks away. Wellspring's still in transition, but the Union Council has taken over. Kirk got what he wanted. The blockade will come down soon, but... He sighs. I'm not sure I'm ready to revisit that place yet. He looks at you and smiles. When I come back to Tala, I want to have something to show for myself, you know? I get it. Family. He shrugs. Maybe once the reboot's done, once the blockade's down, maybe we can visit then. Seraphin takes a breath. We'll get there, some cycle soon. You aren't sure if Seraphin is trying to convince you or himself. He stretches, shaking off his feelings. For now, though, the belt is ours to explore. Oliveira filled the fuel tank, so it really is up to you where we go. He gets up. Well, you decide, and I'm going to go dig up some breakfast. And he smiles, glides out of the cockpit. You take a moment to look out across the tiny lights of Oliveira, dwarfed by the crater and the wreck that sits at its far end. Not bad. Not bad at all, you think. There we go. So, we're going to upgrade interface to the top level. There we go. Investigate Hexport is our next drive, so I guess we're going to go and do that. I don't think there's any reason really to hang on here, so, yeah. Can't go direct, so we've got to go via the hollow. Here we go, we've got Junie's thing as well. Junie knocks gently on the frame of the berth's doorway. Sleeper, can I show you something? There is an excitement in her eyes that makes it impossible to say no. Junie talks most of the way down into the Habpet facility, which is no short journey. She explains the scale of the data hidden within the station's mainframe, but also the issues with extracting it. When the Habpet was first expanded, when it became Darkside after the collapse, no one gave much thought to preserving the existing network architecture. She guides you through the substructure, picking a route through the maze of shuttered passages. They parasited their tech directly onto the existing system, so now, thousands of cycles later, the two networks are totally enmeshed, dependent on each other. Junie takes a series of turns, and you realise this is a very familiar route to her now. Messing with the Solheim network means messing with the systems that keep the city going. She leads you down a long corridor, one you recognise as leading directly to the core. Let her explain.
This meshing is not a good thing. She shakes her head. It makes Darkseid brittle, fragile even. This place is on more of a knife's edge than anyone would believe.
You look around. Certainly the underside you are now travelling through looks cycles away from collapse.
All the data we've been extracting, that I've been archiving, Junie continues, it could help us here. It could help us clean up the Habpep systems, and we could turn this place into an archive so that others could come and to learn more about the ruins Solheim left us.
What is in all of this data?
Anything you can imagine. Everything from corporate message records to blueprints and maps. She shakes her head. It's too much for me to process or understand, but thanks to our visit to the bunker, I've got a plan, and something that will help me.
You arrive at the doors to the mainframe and Junie suddenly stops.
I spoke to Bliss. They told me. She pauses. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you have a lot to deal with right now.
I'm fine. Junie looks a little confused.
Okay, she nods. That's good to hear.
Junie hits a button and the doors hiss open. You both glide into the mainframe, its columns studded with the blinking lights of active traffic.
I got the idea from you, actually. Well, from you and Overseer.
Junie glides over to the mainframe. You look at the mainframe and you see now that it is surrounded by new terminals and wiring, some kind of external access network Junie has set up.
I've had to beg, borrow and steal to get this going, but now we have safe access into the network. It's low risk.
She moves over to one of the terminals.
It's not quite finished, though.
You recall the last time you were here. Lane, Overseer, the spear of white light, and then nothing. You wonder where Overseer is now, if they're anywhere at all. You remember how it felt being dissolved into the network, the vertiginous possibility of life without a body. Something flickers through the lights, a shimmer of movement like a fish beneath water.
Sleeper?
Junie breaks your train of thought.
Are you listening? I was saying I need more data to finish preparing.
She shrugs.
I know, we've already extracted so much, but there's often so little of it that's usable among the bit-rot and corruption.
Where from?
Helion Gate is the place to get data. Apart from here, it's the biggest pre-collapse facility in the belt, and its hostile conditions mean a lot of it is untouched. If it's too much before your reboot, I get it. I just want to do something with everything we've managed to grab from the bunker and the wrecks. We pulled it from the dark. Let's expose it to the light.
Junie turns back to face you.
Well, this is what I wanted to show you.
She looks away. Very impressive.
It will be when it's finished. She smiles. Thank you.
Junie turns back to the terminal, and before long she's fully engrossed. You imagine she barely even remembers you're here. You leave Junie to her preparations and start your ascent to the streets of Darkseid, thoughts of Overseer flickering in the back of your mind. Okay, so that's another thing to do. But we're going to go and do Cadet's thing. We're going to need to do a few things. We're going to fill up on fuel. Not the least bit worried about cash at this point. For the same reason. Tell you what. Let's feed the cat first. Then I'll fill up with supplies. In fact, I'll probably just pick mushrooms as well. Kitty cat, get some food. Let's pick some mushrooms. There we go. Let's fill up on supplies as well. Flicker row. Yeah, what's happening with this bliss thing then? Right. Okay, so we can do that anytime we want now. Oh, interesting. Okay. Fine. I mean, I've sold a bunch of that. I don't know if I've sold as much as 4. It's possible I did. Wish I kept it now. But let's go do the contract. So we're taking Cadet, and let's take Nia. We haven't taken Nia out for ages. Again, she's one who's got like a plus in something. So her and Junie are probably my preferred people to take out. As the rig drew closer to Hexport, the crew became silent. Now, staring out at what is left of what was once a thriving station, you feel empty. The full extent of the damage is impossible to ignore. Grim, Seraphin shakes his head. It didn't feel like we were here that long ago. He sighs. And now this is what's left. You look at the clouds of scattered debris, the layers of the station torn open to the void. It's a reminder of how close the war and the unseen atrocities of the inner system are to shifting into the belt. I didn't like digging around in a place like this. Seraphin turns to you. Let's be quick about it. We need to know what happened. Seraphin nods. Looking at this place, I'm not sure that's going to be possible. You look out at the gutted station. It's hard to know where you might start among all that debris. You head to the airlock to suit up and get ready. Are you ready for this? Cadet catches up with you in the passageway. This place is already giving me the creeps. Yeah, I'm ready. Cadet nods. If there are answers to be found, we'll find them. Oh no, I've just realised Naya's the other one who's got the same accent. I'll change that. Let's just give her just a normal accent. I don't like being back here. Naya is suiting up, but Femi and I could have... She stops herself. We need to find out who's responsible for this. Cadet takes a suit from the locker. Seraphin said the radiation is lower than expected, but still too high for prolonged exposure. The suits should give us most of it off us, but we can't take long out there. The stress of the suits and the rig. She sighs. We'll be forced to leave in 3 cycles. Cadet grabs a helmet. Not a moment more. You get ready too, your mind filled with memories of Hexport. You hope they will help you navigate this shattered ruin, but looking at what's left, you doubt it. Right, we don't have long. They rolled Cadet anyway rolled extremely badly. Ugh. But we do have Nia can put into there. So let's do that. +3, nice. Yeah, I guess I'll do this as well. I'm gonna push, because I can guarantee that comes positive and take my stress down while still saving my 5, something else potentially. This is the forensic search. Understanding what happened on Hexport means searching through the ruined station and piecing together the story. You hear that, Sleeper? Cadet stops among the debris just outside the ruined exchange. Search so far has been thankless, a grim slog through endless debris. You're glad of the break. You stop, floating in the dark, and listen. There is a hissing on the open comm channel, a hissing you've grown used to. Now that you listen to it again, though, you notice something else in the noise. There is something different to it now. A texture, a modulation of tone. Is that a voice? Cadet cuts in. Someone's speaking? Her eyes look wide through the faceplate of her suit. You listen carefully and, yes, perhaps there is a voice there, though it is quiet and distant. It could be a person speaking, or it could be some residual signal from an automated system, one that is slowly dying in this wasteland. You see Cadet moving around, testing the signal strength from different positions. It's coming from the direction of the docks. A voice hisses through the comms, layering over the broadcast. A survivor? Cadet meets your eyes, both of you hoping this might be true. It's probably just a comms echo. Seraphin's voice cuts in over the comms. We can't go chasing ghosts, not with so little time left. The rig can't sit out here getting cooked by radiation, and neither can you. Seraphin's voice distorts and shifts. You should move to the epicenter where Factory Row used to be. That's where all this went down. Cadet looks at you, and you know she wants to chase the signal to the docks. She wants there to be someone there, calling out to you. You look over towards the remains of Factory Row, the epicenter as Seraphin called it. It's now a cloud of debris and fragments of bays, a shadow of what it once was. For the first time in a long time, you think of Karsten. You look back at the remains of the docks, a few warning lights and systems still flickering away in the ruins. With not much time left here, you have a choice about where to focus your efforts. Indeed, so this is the epicenter. So Nia could put into there, but it's risky actually. So I think a negative result even won't be too bad. And she got neutral. Ugh, okay, those two are bad. What's happening at the signal spot? I might put this into the danger one. I'll put the one in the risky. 1 in 5. No. Okay, well that's fine for now. Well, we got to rest. Probably going to take some more glitch damages quite soon. But not this cycle. Oh wow, look at Cadet. Very nice, and Nia's not too bad either, so I might concentrate my dice here, because neither of those is particularly helpful here. I'm going to put them all in this risky category here. Because that should... Positive results there are +3, so we need... it's going to be 2 more dice either way, but... Okay. Urgent. The broadcast echoes through your comms. Retrieval required. Conway network agents, please respond. You float beside Cadet, the two of you shocked to silence by the sight in front of you. Both of you have traced the ghost signal deep into the docks, all time wondering if it might be the voice of a survivor, but you had not prepared yourself for this. In a corner of the docks there is a nest of machines, a gathering of drones and motorized sleds, crane systems and docking clamps, a nest for the drone mind. Ooh. Stop, please. The voice shimmers with distortion, relayed on the same carrier signal as the ghost broadcast. We wish to be recovered. You don't know the mechanics of what you're looking at, but you understand it now. The drone mind fled here, but how? You exchange a look with Cadet and she seems unsure of what to do. You switch your comms channel to the broadcast signal. What happened here? Unverified access. Unable to resist. Requesting recovery. The drone mind's voice trembles with glitches. Confirm Conway Extraction's role and identity. You wonder what this mind knows. Is it just an interface designed to speak between humans and drones with the recognizable cadence of intelligent speech? Or is it a thinking machine? You hear a click as Cadet switches to a private channel. This thing is a weapon. Her voice is flat, unemotional. We should be careful what we say here. Confirm Conway Extraction's role and identity, please. I don't want it to, blow itself up. Damn, I don't know what to do. We aren't Conway. There is a pause. You see Cadet tense. Please retreat. The nest shudders. Please retreat. Leave us here. Look. Cadet hisses through the private channel. It's hardwired to the station. You look to where she is nodding and see a single thick power cable snaking from an industrial wall outlet. The nest is clustered around the other end, huddling close to the fading power supply of the station like it's the dying embers of a fire. Urgent. The broadcast starts again. Retrieval required. Conway network agents, please respond. Cadet moves forward a little. I order you to deliver a report on your current status. This is a direct report from Conway Control. She turns back to you and shrugs. It's worth a shot. Confirmation impossible. Connection severed. The nest fades, then flickers back to life. Temporary bypass activated. Cognitive function minimal. Power supply minimal. Hardware suboptimal configuration. No drone units connected. I am alone. The shift between communication registers, between formal and human, is unsettling. Code center compromised. Data extracted by third party. Self-destruct disabled. Purge protocol disabled. Parts of the nest fall away. The power draining as the drone mind attempts to draw more from the station. Please, the drone mind asks nonsensically. Please stop. Did you destroy this station? Cadet moves close now, bearing down on the nest. It is little more than a pile of broken machines, cowering in a corner as the power fades. Self-destruct attempted. Process failed. Hardware purge attempted. Process failed. Self-preservation protocol activated. Propagated through the station network. Station failed. Central failure imminent. Please stop. The machine in the nest begins to go dark. Please stop. Please stop. Cadet turns back to face you. It didn't do this. She sighs. It tried, though. Tried to destroy itself and take the station with it. She turns back to look at the failing mind.
hiding in machines it was not built to inhabit. It escaped into the network and ended up here. It isn't responsible. Responsible or not, that's enough. Cadet reaches over and rips the power cable from the wall, leaving it floating. The nest shuts off, the broadcast channel going silent. The bay goes dark. What was left of the drone mine, whatever protocol or data escaped into these machines and their network, it is gone now. There is no hardware left to hold it. Come on. Cadet glides out of the room, leaving you among the dead machines. Alright. Well, it wasn't blown up by that thing, so something else happened here. Let's... Okay, I can't do the engage, but I can do the intuit, so let's put my dice in there. So... Cadet can get positive results navigating the debris. That's good. Over halfway now, so let's pop Nia's dice into this one. It's only 2 away. I'm not going to risk the broken dice. Or do I? Don't think I do. This is probably our last cycle here. Let's hope for some decent rolls. Yeah, not bad. Definitely enough. So let's put Nia's in there, her 5, to get 100% positive. You float in the pieces of what was once Factory Row. There is little way to see what these pieces once were, scattered and scorched as they are. You cannot assemble them back into that place in your mind, and the longer you've searched here, the more that this broken place has weakened your memory of when it was whole. But you've managed to put something together here, part of the story of Hexport's final moments. That story is told in the blast marks on the exterior plates, the patterns of debris, the materials and makeup of the station's remains. Beyond that, one other thing is remarkable. There aren't any bodies. It seems that Hexport had some warning. The lack of docked ships, the lack of mass casualties, though the explosion surely killed many. It all suggests a station that had time to react, or to at least evacuate in part. And then there's the blast, an explosion that the evidence points to as coming from the outside of the station. It is hard to tell, as so much secondary damage was caused by debris and shrapnel, but the pattern is there if you look. Something catches your eye and you look over to see Cadet arriving alongside you, studying the same debris as you. Let's put it together. Ha-ha. Oh, it reduced our stress, that's awesome. The pieces come together. A moment of warning and evacuation, then an external attack. The first causes the second. You know the drone mind was here, being scraped for code and data, screaming for it to stop. And then something happened, something that its captors could not control. There was a crisis, rapid, panicked, and Hexport was killed for their crimes. It was a cover-up, wasn't it? Cadet has been watching you as you think through the evidence, and you see the flash of recognition in her eyes. They wanted to hide what happened here, what they were doing. It had to be Senate stat. Who else would sacrifice a station to remain hidden? You can see the anger in her eyes. This is why Hexport was destroyed. The drone mind got out, entered the network. Who knows what it might have done? Could it have taken apart the station itself, overloading every system, opening every airlock? Was its drive towards self-destruction that strong? Someone didn't wait to find out. Its escape sealed the station's fate. In the end, there is only one conclusion. Those who brought the drone mine to Hexport, who dug into its code and systems while it was alive, they ended the station. The logic is cruel and cold, the kind that the vacuum of the Helion system allows. You find no comfort in knowing the truth. I guess we're done, right? Contract concluded. Let's do it. There's not much to celebrate on your return from the remains of Hexport, but you're glad to be back here all the same. There is something surprising in that. Darkside is a haven, not a prison, a slowly occurring idea of this overgrown city as a home. As you have seen in Hexport, stability cannot be taken for granted, not anywhere in the belt, but Darkside has a solidity in life that feels like it might endure. Cadet catches up with you. We need to talk. She looks around. But not here. Come, I've something I want to show you. Cadet leads you deep into the heart of Darkside, through quiet corridors and bustling streets, on paths you didn't know existed. As you glide after her, the station seems to grow in your mind, its possibilities multiplied by the routes that pass through it. Just through here. Cadet leads you across a covered bridge, the view on either side looking down caverns of lit units. This close to the center of Darkside, the air is warm and the passages are quiet. Here, Cadet smiles. This is the place. She points at a low and wide entrance with storage racks inside. Next door is a smaller unit with a window looking out to the passage. It seems like a workshop, perhaps abandoned or never finished. It is dusty and dark. I've been keeping an eye on it. It's abandoned. She glides inside and slaps a wall pad. Lights flicker on, illuminating a constellation of dust. She floats in the glittering specks. Looks promising? Cadet laughs. Oh, I know it's a wreck, but it's a start. When we've been here on Darkside, I've been coming out here. I just happened to cross it, but I knew when I found it. I want to start again, Sleeper. She knocks on a metal wall. And this is where I'm going to make that start. What we saw in Hexport, what's left of it, just confirmed it to me. We can't stop Senate stat, as much as we can't stop the war. She runs a finger along the storage racks. We have what? The drive? Our suspicions? Senate stat is vast. How could we pin this to them even if we wanted to? She looks over the workshop. I don't want to think about it anymore. I want to start again. I want to work, to ride my bike and courier packages till I fall into my bed at the end of the day with nothing left. Cadet picks up an old corroded tool from the racks. I want to build something here in spite of everything, in spite of the fact they could take it all away. Because that's the point. To go on living without conceding, to go on building or trying to build, something where we can find it. That's what I brought you here to understand, so you'd know why I'm letting this all go. You're giving up? How much am I supposed to face, to take in? Cadet's eyes flash with anger. How many crises are enough to prove myself? I'm not giving up, I'm stepping away. Cadet meets your eye. I'm not ashamed. My old life is gone. Clearing my name on the far spindle doesn't matter. The spindle jacks will have forgotten me. But this place, Cadet smiles, it doesn't know me at all. You know what the drive is, what it contains. You know what happened at Hexport. Cadet's eyes shine in the workshop lights. Take it away from me, it's yours now. I can't carry this anymore. Alright, I will. She nods. Thank you. My travels are over. If you need to find me, I'll be here. Cadet smiles. Thank you for all you've done. I hope you can understand why I need to do this. He turns and disappears deeper into the workshop. You cross the bridge again, Darkside glowing on all sides. You think of the drive, buried deep in some compartment within the Scatteryards hub, filled with data worth destroying a station over. It is yours now. But you wonder as you cross back through the city, your mind racing, how can all this end well? So that new location is probably just, her pad, is it? Oh, Cadet Couriers. So what is this? Cadet is busy setting up her new courier service and trying to forget the path that brought her here. So she's on like a little 4-cycle timer. I think I'm going to fill up on... Actually, let's feed our kitty cat first. And then we're going to head off to... whatchamacallit? Helion Gate. We're going to go and get that 4 pieces of Solheim data for Junie. Okay, so let's... Oh wait, I did the bloody cycle. I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully that doesn't add our glitch. Oh, I think it's going to as well. Another flicker in the dark waking and a numbness that follows soon after. You wake slowly and stare out at the flickering stars and the distant rocks of the belt. You let the thoughts of fear or panic wash over you. They pass like the soft dust of the belt, disappearing into darkness. You find yourself once more as you do every morning, as you will continue to do cycle after cycle until you can't. You wonder what part of you has changed, what system is failing. Your frame is silent, its complaints only felt in ambiguous sensations. The glitches seem random, unpredictable, but also inevitable. They'll only increase in number until you reboot yourself. But you do not know what lies beyond that, at least the glitches are dependably familiar. The reboot is anything but. Okay, so we're going to have more glitch dice now. Which sucks a bit, because I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to do was go feed the cat, but I kind of clicked the wrong thing. But it was going to happen anyway, obviously. But let's, I
I guess I should harvest those mushrooms again. Let's fill up on fuel and supplies. And then we're gonna head off. That Helion gate? It is. Okay, well that's not far actually. That's cool. I thought it was a couple of jumps away, but we're good. Okay, our glitches. So we want gate structure, I think, isn't it? Data scraping. That's the one we want. I can't push because it's not a contract. Okay, we'll risk another cycle. I've got enough fuel to get home, so I don't need to do that. I just realised actually. Oh yeah, the Hexport thing. We need to go and do the drive as well, which is in Scatter Yards. Okay. All right, so this isn't the last thing we're doing. Let's just grab this here, and then we'll think about next steps. She needed 6, didn't she? So let's do that. Okay. If we're going to Scatter Yards, maybe we do need fuel, so let's try and grab some of that. I could probably eat some supplies actually to get my energy back up. Scatter Yards time. So that is... Where is Scatter Yards? Oh, it's there. Okay. Well, let's go via Dark Side then. Okay, but I think we're going to leave it there, actually. We're coming up to an hour, and I don't want to have to rush this. We're going to go back and do the Hexport thing. We're going to build the archive with Junie and then do the reboot. There may be other stuff that comes up as we tick stuff off. So I think it probably makes sense not to rush to finish it in this episode. We'll come back next time and probably for the finale. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, if you could hit that like button, that'd be much appreciated, as would be any comments as well. Let me know what you think about the game and series so far. And if you're watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that as well, that'd be amazing. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.